The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
My guest this evening is, of course, Police Chief J.I. Cruz and Director of Department of Administration, Christine Belletto. Prior to going to the break, we're talking. I was saying had the opportunity to speak to quite a few of the candidates that were running for legislation. Now, about 7 of them have gotten in new ones. And I said, you know, carve yourselves out of this thing. I'm sure one of the reasons why you considered running was because of the fact that it's a little more pay. A lot of the new ones are not as known. And so you're going to use some of that pay to pay back for your campaign, your campaign expenditures. And I would question as well this. I would question your ability to govern or to be my leader if I'm asking you, Chief, to do the hard thing. You got to do the hard work for me. Okay. And then you come back to me, Jess, I'm going to do the hard work for you, but I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to cut my salary by $30,000. I'm going to say, really? You can that's your incentive to go down? I said, you're J.I. Cruz, not Sister or Mother Teresa. Yeah. You know? and so do I expect that quality of work from you to do that? And I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here.
No, Jess, you are absolutely correct in that the expectation of the people of Guam is that they voted them into office for a particular reason. They need them to be the best and the brightest. They need them to come up with those out-of-the-box initiatives to move our government forward, to move our people forward, and to not compensate them accordingly. To us, it doesn't make sense. To anybody, it just doesn't make any practical sense. Why would you want somebody to step forward and take all that initiative, take all that action, and take a pay cut for that? It doesn't make any sense. What does make sense is that you compensate them commensurate with the position that they hold. Obviously, if you make a little bit, if you're doing more, you get more. If you're doing less, you get less. And again, we want to attract the best and the brightest. And I think in this last election, Jess, the people of Guam have spoken. You can see there's a new face in the 34th Guam legislature, and that's for a reason. It's because the people of Guam have said, for this salary, these are the right people that we need to lead, to be our leaders in this, to bring us forward over the next couple of years. And the people of Guam are well aware of what we compensate our senators with, what we compensate our governor and our lieutenant governor with. And having them voted into office only means that thought was in the back of their mind. These are the folks that we want to be our leaders, and we pay them accordingly because this is what we expect of them. So whether it's the police chief or the director of DOA, again, our salaries are commensurate with that. There was a wage study that was done, and it's not like we're asking more than what the study says. And I think that this really is a matter of the bill itself, the bills that are before the people of Guam now. In my honest opinion, Jess, this is bad policy, but great politics. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We need to take the politics out of this particular situation.
But actually, Chief, even the politics is starting not to be great anymore. Okay.
I would agree. I would agree. Because why are we going over this again? Yeah. You know, I mean, do we not have a better way to spend our resources than to talk about something that we've talked about 3 or 4 times already?
But not only that, because I would ask, and this would be my question, is I'm sure these bills will have a public hearing, okay? I'm sure they'll have a public hearing. You'll be down there. You'll just change the dates of your testimonies, you know, and go down there, and they'll look at you, and then they'll have signs and say, you know, you're not deserving of this pay and all this. But when you were confirmed, you were such a good person.
Absolutely.
When you got your first paycheck, oh, you were a bad person. Yeah. But but all that, okay, all that, you know, but anyway, so you'll be down there, and I'm saying, well, wait a minute. It's germane for the author of the bill to ask the Speaker of the House to waive the public hearing and vote on the floor. And the reason being is this has been publicly heard already.
Absolutely.
I mean, more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times already. You know, it's been already done. Yes. So it's germane to have that done. Where I say it's where you say it was good politics, it's bad politics because I tell you what, good politics will make sure that not only you and the authors or co-authors have this, are in line with this. Good politics will say, I've got 10 votes. I've got solid 10 votes. Or even better, I have 15 votes. Waive the public hearing today, I can pass this bill and roll back the pay raise.
Absolutely.
Bad politics is you may have even less now supporting this bill than before.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So what
I
have
would
you
agree.
done? You've satisfied. You can carve yourself out. You won't have your face in a placard on the road that said, you're one of the people that didn't want that back. But you know yourself. You know you don't want that pay raise.
Absolutely.
Who would want a
Yeah.
$20,000 pay raise? You've got to be an imbecile to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
absolute idiot to want it.
Yeah.
And the ones who are smart have to be absolute idiots to want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what it
That
is.
is the reality.
Yeah.
It's just the simple reality of the situation.
Yep.
It's like, who in their right mind, again, would take a higher position, more responsibility for less pay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. And one of the things that I want to point out is before this compensation study, before these raises went into effect, the wages were stuck at 1991 salaries. This was not implemented until 2014. So you've already lost a lot of time from the time
Sure.
that
Yep.
compensation study was done to the time that it was implemented. Fast forward to 2017, and that is why they're calling for another compensation study to show that perhaps not only is the pay justified for the positions, but it may even be outdated. And so, that's something before, it's kind of like the call again, can we get the information? If there's got to be something that
Sure.
that is causing this to come up again, but to just do it as I got in, it's January, let me introduce a bill to roll back the
Sure.
salaries with nothing behind it,
Sure.
but this perception that it's the people's will.
Yep.
I say wait for the compensation study and let's
Yeah.
see what that tells us.
Jess, I would say when you consider what Christine just brought up, I will tell you that another factor to take a look at is, can the government afford this? And based on the projections that we're looking at, based on the fiscal state of affairs in the government, we can afford this. When we talk about, Christine talked about the numbers a little bit earlier, this is something that we definitely can afford. And I see that as this is truly an investment into the people, into the government, so that we can reap bigger dividends, bigger returns on our investment.
Sure.
And the $45,000 or $47,000 per month, $524,000 in the year, while one could argue, could we use that elsewhere in the government? We could always use that somewhere else in the government. But I see this as an investment into good leadership to reap a bigger return on our investment by coming up with more cost savings,
Sure.
with bigger cost savings, initiatives that are really going to save the people of Guam. The old saying, penny wise, pound foolish.
That's right.
We're pinching a few pennies and we're being fiscally responsible, but in the grander scheme and in the bigger picture, this doesn't make any practical sense.
You know,
at all.
when I read the bill in regards to, again, rolling back the executive pay, governor, lieutenant governor, and I think it's the senators. I think it was
That's
Senator
the
Frank.
first one.
Sure.
Senator Frank
Yes.
Goggins. I said, oh, of course it'll be a senator because I'm a current senator and I'm running for governor. I don't want not to roll back the executive's pay because that's just the office I'm striving for.
Sure.
So I don't want it to be seen that I'm just cutting my pay back. But if the people give me the opportunity, I'm going to serve in that capacity. But that being said, there's also arguments out there that said, hey, Guam is X amount of people, maybe 170,000, and you compare it to other jurisdictions that are paid less. They're in a maybe a smaller jurisdiction, more money coming in, but paid a lot less. And I differ what they say. I mean, if you're going to compare me to any other jurisdiction or state, then make me a state. Then you can compare me. Don't compare an apple to an orange or an orange to an apple.
Sure.
The governor's power, granted by Congress through the Organic Act, was powers that was crafted out of military rule. Okay, this governor's power has more power, is more powerful than any governor in the 50 states. No other governor in the 50 states have the kind of power that the overseeing utilities, and I think the CCU is inorganic. That probably should be done away with. We had to amend the Organic Act to have the governor not to to oversee DOE. We've had to we've had to go in there and separate again, or have the Attorney General be in elected office. We have to take those powers away from the executive branch based on the amendment of the Organic Act. We don't have a constitution we're dealing with. So the governor, by virtue of that power granted by Congress, just, hey, call in this admiral, call in this captain that was once the boss here in Guam, okay, that ruled Guam. What were your powers? What did you do?
Yeah.
Oh, these now are the powers of the governor.
Right.
So that's the power. The governor of Guam holds the most powerful governor powers as compared to any other 50 states.
And
Sure.
they also have the most accountability.
Yeah.
Our governor is accessible to our people. You know, I mean, I know even speaking with joining government, you go someplace and, you know, people go up to him, they talk to him. So it's a very different level. We have a small community, but there's so much more going on that he has to manage, and there's so much more accountability.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to the pay commensurate with the responsibility.
Absolutely.
And not to take that away and say, we're going to isolate this position and then, you know, just put it in a box with everything else.
Sure.
Right.
I got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.